Hello and welcome here. The DCEU had high expectations for the DC Universe, but the unusual cancellation of Batgirl and Michael Keaton's Batman's uncertain future have placed those dreams in jeopardy. Although The Flash's plot is still a secret, it seemed obvious that the Flashpoint-inspired adventure will return Michael Keaton as Batman and somehow alter the DCEU's chronology through the universe. Its cancellation would have had a more negative effect on the franchise because Batgirl would have been the first DCEU movie to deal with what happened following The Flash. It was only a matter of time until the multiverse made an appearance on television or in a movie, as it has been a theme in both Marvel and DC Comics for years. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, the multiverse seemed a clear direction for the MCU, with Avengers Secret Wars having Marvel Studios' greatest chance to surpass Endgame's box receipts. The multiverse served a more immediate function for the DCEU since it would enable the franchise to rethink its structure and timeline in a way that also made sense from a narrative standpoint. It felt like the universe would provide insight into the DCEU's ongoing struggle to define the position of its core characters, including Batman and Superman, and its canon, nearly 5 years after Justice League. When Ben Affleck publicly announced his departure from the role of Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman was entirely cut off from the DCEU, DC had to find a method to include a new Batman. Michael Keaton was chosen to return as the Dark Knight in The Flash, and he was later scheduled to reprise the role in Batgirl, perhaps as a result of whatever Flash altered in the chronology. The cancellation of Batgirl not only signals a significant change in Warner Bros. Discovery's ambitions for the IP, but it also raises the possibility that the DCEU's initial, pre-Discovery merger aspirations to explore the universe may no longer be a top priority. All of this suggests that the DCEU's universe is now far more vulnerable than it was before, assuming it isn't already doomed. Theoretically, Justice League was supposed to represent the culmination of everything DC has done on the big screen since 2013, but instead, it divided moviegoers and performed worse at the box office than Man of Steel. The DCEU has been having trouble with movies that caused a lot of controversy or were poorly received, such Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad, but it wasn't until Justice League that the series really suffered financially. In addition, Justice League marked the beginning of a number of controversy-filled production events, making it impossible to see the whole ensemble of Justice League returning for a follow-up. It became increasingly difficult to determine which version of Justice League could be considered canon for the DC Extended Universe once director Zack Snyder's version, Zack Snyder's Justice League, was released. DC needed a method to blend what had been successful, such as Jason Momoa's Aquaman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, with fresh approaches, like Michael Keaton's Batman, because Ben Affleck seemed to be done with Batman and the studio wanted to move away from everything Justice League related. The multiverse, it appeared, was the straightforward solution. The studio was determined to promote the multiverse concept, and the DC Fandome 2020 was entirely devoted to it. Each panel of the online fan event took place on a distinct world, with the concept being inspired by the DC cosmos. The future of the DCEU was discussed during a panel at DC Fandome 2020 with Jim Lee, the chief creative officer of DC Comics, and other important producers, who emphasized how everything in the multiverse was canon. The Flash was the most significant film in the impending DCEU slate in terms of how the multiverse may be used in real life. It seemed fitting for the Flash movie to be the one to introduce the DCEU's multiverse because Flash as a character has battled with time travel, multiple timelines, and the parallel reality for decades. Michael Keaton's return as Batman in The Flash itself did not signal a reset of the DC Extended Universe, but the fact that he would also play Batgirl made it clear that whatever would happen at The Flash's conclusion would have significant ramifications for the DCEU's history. Although Michael Keaton's potential role as the DCEU's Batman led many to believe that Ben Affleck's Batman would be written out of the franchise, Affleck is confirmed to be Batman in The Flash. The cancellation of Batgirl, a film that would have shown The Flash's multiverse journey's aftermath, shows that DC no longer places a high importance on the universe. In addition, just before Batgirl's cancellation was revealed, it was rumored that Michael Keaton's expected appearance in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom would be replaced by Ben Affleck. There will only be one Michael Keaton Batman appearance in the DCEU, The Flash, as opposed to the potential 3. Despite earlier statements to the contrary, Ben Affleck is obviously still Batman, and the initial idea to have Michael Keaton take his position as the character in the DC Extended Universe may now have been abandoned. On August 5, CEO David Zaslav of Warner Bros. Discovery indicated that the new leadership will even better upcoming DCEU films like Black Adam and The Flash, implying that reshoots may be forthcoming. If that's the case, The Flash may be changed because Batgirl has been axed so that Michael Keaton does not end up becoming Batman in the DCEU. The multiverse strategy for the DCEU was problematic even before the Discovery merger. The DCEU multiverse seems more like a quick way to rewrite the franchise's canon than it was a way to enable different facets of the live-action history of DC to interact and coexist, like what MCU films like Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness have done. Before a proper world is constructed, that is, before the Justice League and its members are developed, a DC multiverse cannot function. If Henry Cavill is still Superman, who will play Batman in the DC Extended Universe, and how Matt Reeves' The Batman franchise will fit into the recently revealed 10-year strategy for the brand are all questions that DC has yet to answer. Although it makes for entertaining crossover, the multiverse theory does not contribute to the solution of those problems. The DCEU's issues aren't going to be solved by the universe. Instead, the franchise has to develop and follow a clear strategy. With its 10-year plan for the DCEU, Warner Bros. Discovery has now committed to this, and it will be fascinating to watch how the franchise develops in the future and whether this plan incorporates the multiverse in any way. Taking all of this into account, The Flash is the most crucial film for the future of the DCEU, and its conclusion should make Warner Bros.' new ambitions more obvious, even if the multiverse concept and Batgirl are ultimately dropped.